What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about NIO. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, break it down on what's really happening, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is up 3.83%, 413 the low, 434 the high. So it is definitely showing that something is up. There's a couple of different attributing factors what's really causing all of this hype. One is just simply the technicals, it bouncing off of a very key support level. Secondly, you did just recently have this. So Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund suggests going long on China and selling US tech. And they managed obviously a significant amount, so $1.8 trillion. And I think coming from a value standpoint, aside from geopolitical issues, NIO's at a very deep discount. I think even the bulls and bears can hopefully agree on that. But one thing as well that's been really coming out at the same time, which could really be helping NIO and just other Chinese stocks right now, is the fact that Trump really delayed on the implementation of the tariffs. So showing some kind of hesitation. So there might be still, I guess, some optimism that they might actually not come to fruition, which would be very good for China as well as the States. So that's one thing as well that could really be helping NIO. And then aside from that, there's this that came out. I don't really see this being a good attributing factor for any buying, but Onvo completes trial production of its second model L80. So I think this is good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that is one of the biggest attributing factors. It's more macro or possibly sentiment related. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Aside from that, no actual concrete news from NIO itself, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines. But there's a couple of things I do want to bring to your attention. First time in a while, shorts are returning some shares, 640,000. So it's been a good, probably even looking over here, it's been a good almost 2 weeks since they've actually returned any shares. 12.07% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 161.2 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost of borrow average 2.99, and then utilization is 94.17. DTC on a side note is 3.17 days. So typically the higher the number, the more likelihood of a squeeze. So I'm not here to say NIO is a squeeze play because I think you need specific circumstances for that to play out. Plus you need a very, very good catalyst, but I think shorts should naturally be kind of returning, not a squeeze, but I think they will be slowly returning back. NIO's gaining some pretty good momentum. So yeah, let me know your viewpoint on that. Moving over to options, you do have a little bit lower dollar value today. So 1.73 million in calls, 1.1 in puts. 52% of all the options being done are bearish in nature today. So a lot of big money is getting in. You can see it based on these spikes. So clearly that isn't retail at all. And just today is a little bit lower. So 2.9 million in total premiums, 3.9 the day prior, 6.8 the day before that. So I think NIO and options are just kind of losing popularity, unfortunately. But looking at some of the call options that are being purchased, you still see a lot of good consensus for it to be above $4.50 for this week. And then it looks like above $5 for February the 21st. So I'm not really sure the basis of that, or if there's something actually coming out around that time period. If so, let me know in the comments below what that is around that time period or right before that. But looking at the bears, they are anticipating for it to be sub $4. So a little bit more upside is anticipated, at least for the next little bit. There was this one that stands out as far as being abnormal. So January 16th, 2026, consensus for it to be sub $3. So that's kind of one thing as well. But no matter what, even though shorts returning is very interesting, abnormal, same goes for this. So for those of you that are new to the channel, I always like to bring up what big money is doing, where the volume's primarily coming from. And usually you get like one transaction on the secondary market above $100,000 at best. Most of the time it's zero, but this right here definitely goes to show that something is up. You have one sell for 180,000, the rest are buys, and most likely they are actually linked to algorithmic trading, but it is big players doing it because you see a lot of repetitive purchasing. So 1.69 million or 1.69 thousand, sorry, not million, 1.69 thousand, 1.69, 1.68, and then 446. So that 446 clearly is another entity as well, but yeah, definitely a lot of interesting stuff happening. As far as this goes, with it at 434, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 426, 411 are going to be the following support levels, and we do know that 401 is that line in the sand, so that's been kind of the saving grace for NIO. And then flip side, 411 as well, so it kind of bounced off of that general area today. 442 is going to be that next strong target that you really want to watch for NIO to get above. But aside from that, no actual other concrete news that I'm not aware of, unless there's something that just came out. But aside from that, though, on the actual chart itself, it was able to fight back above that ALMA, and so that's currently sitting at $4.23. So it is still showing that it's alive, that it's kicking. Didn't really get hit as hard as I would have anticipated because of Trump coming in, but like I said, with optimism about potentially no tariffs, it might be going back to the status quo and maybe get back to kind of these levels around that 460. One key point to really watch for is that 50-day moving average. So that's sitting at 454. So if it is able to fight above that and in the short term and get above it, then yeah, you could see some nice kind of improvement. As far as this goes, so no new analyst ratings, nothing along those lines. There was that sell that came out yesterday, so 350. But I brought that up in the video yesterday. So TINA has a 47% success rating. Analyst dropped it from 390 down to 350. But yeah, I still feel Analyst, despite a lot of the recent bearish ones, there's still a lot more upside. So 552 is that price target, representing 27.48% growth from here. So let me know your viewpoint on NIO. Are you buying? Are you selling? What is your overall thoughts on NIO? A couple of things I do want to share with you. If you want all of this information, so ownership, analyst forecasts, short selling, everything under the sun, take a look at IBKR, link in the description below and also the comments for all of this to be completely free. And then over and above that, if you are looking for a lot of good buy signals, I put out buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto on my Patreon. So a link to that is in the description below and also the comments. Massive wins on there. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.